Welcome back to the UMass Sports Insider, our first show of the 2023 year, and we are just excited as ever to bring to you all the student athletes and stories that happen here on the campus of UMass. And on this show, we're going to talk about something that you might have heard about throughout the news over the past couple of years, NIL in college athletics. That is, students being able to profit off of their name, image, and likeness. And we started off at the top with our Coffee with a Coach, presented by Duncan. We've got Coach Frank Martin from men's basketball. Coach, how you doing? Thanks for being here.
Yeah, great to be here, Jay. Great topic to talk about, too.
NIL. I mean, how crazy has this been for people in your line of business?
I think it was long overdue. I mean, personally, I think it's just greedy that we can look at coaching salaries to what they are. The amount of money that's generated for universities through television contracts and all the above, and then act like room, books, tuition, and whatever fees are still, like, no, that's what you get. And, we did some things little by little, which were also long overdue, cost of attendance, the Alston money. Those are things that needed to be done. But then the NIL was just kind of like, all right, here you go, boom. Go at it, enjoy, have fun, and it's brand new,
yeah,
and it's wild. So it's just a new dynamic.
It became this sort of unregulated space, and now there's teams and programs trying to work within the rules that are forever changing. So there's some things we can't talk about in terms of specific players that have NIL deals, but when it comes to the University of Massachusetts, how have you seen this university kind of wrap their arms around the name, image, and likeness space?
Well, it's a new environment that we're walking into. And as a coach, you want your university and the people that support your university on board to help you grow it. That's so important. It's not going away. The genie's out of the bottle.
Right.
And so there's people that are committed. And that's what excites me about being at UMass, is the commitment that there is by people to make sure that our program can grow once again. And we've got folks that are all in to figure out that dynamic moving forward. At UMass, I hope that this is a tool that we can use in men's basketball. I can't speak for everybody, but I think Ryan and I are on the same page on this, for retention, for guys that are here, not use it as a tool in recruiting. Because I don't think the purpose of NIL should be in recruiting.
You say that as someone who feels like you got to earn what you're getting, and that probably kind of falls in line with some of the things that you've taught as a coach over the course of your career.
If you get money before you work, then you don't appreciate the value of work ethic. In the world of education, we should be teaching people to work and how to continue to move forward and then get rewarded, not the other way around. And that's unfortunately when you drag NIL into the recruiting, you're rewarding people with UMass before they ever do anything for UMass. So then they think that it's easy, and it's not easy. It's really hard. It's now young people that come here, go to class, when they do an interview with the media, represent themselves in the university the right way. When it's time to go compete on the field or on the court, they excel, they work, they compete, they help their teams win. Then go sell their T-shirts, go sign autographs, go make as much as you can, because that is the reward for your achievements. And I don't know about the life you've lived, Jay, but that's the one I've learned in my 56 years on this planet, is that when you do things the right way and you work and you deal with the good days and the bad days, eventually the rainbow comes out and you get rewarded. And that's what we're trying to teach young people.
Okay, last one for you on this topic, and I don't know, really I never know what the response I'm going to get is from you when I ask a question, but I think one of the argument from the detractors when the genie came out of that bottle in terms of student athletes being able to profit off of their name, image, and likeness, it was saying, how does the locker room dynamic work? You've got guys on your team that have benefited from their name, image, and likeness and are generating revenue. How's that worked out for your club specifically?
Yeah, I haven't had conversations with our players as of late about all that. But the truth of the matter, and the simplest way I can explain it to you, is the following. So let's say you're on my team and you've been at UMass for a couple of years and you've been busting your butt trying to win games and taking charges and listening to me. And now in comes this new hotshot freshman and he gets an NIL deal and you don't have anything. How are you going to handle that moment in the locker room as a player? Because you're going to think I had something to do with it. Anytime there's NIL money for a brand new player, if you're in the locker room, you're going to make the assumption the coach had something to do with it. And that's the dynamic that we're going to have to deal with and face and manage. And that's pro sports.
Yeah.
That's the jealousy that exists in pro sport locker rooms, and we've allowed it to be drug into collegiate sports.
And a lot of time, all the time, it's not the coaches, but it's the fan base and the collectives that are in charge of those things. We're going to talk about those in just a second. Coach, thanks so much as always.
Great to see you, Jay.
Speaking of what's called collectives, we'd like to send it over to Ryan Bamford. He's got a message on what those are and how they can benefit Massachusetts athletics.
Hello, UMass fans and supporters everywhere. Thank you for your unwavering support and commitment and investment in the athletics program here at the University of Massachusetts. I'm excited to tell you about what we're doing in the name, image, and likeness space. Now known as NIL, the NCAA passed this legislation about 18 months ago. And in year one, we did a lot of education of our staff, our coaches, and especially our student athletes on their ability to monetize their name, image, and likeness. We also built strategy around this to try to support our young people activating in the NIL space. And now here we are in year two, and we have two great collectives that have stepped up. They're built by supporters, alums, fans of this university and its athletic program. We're very fortunate to be able to have these collectives support our young people. Collectives are a group of businesses or individuals who come together to create NIL opportunities for student athletes. Here at the University of Massachusetts, we have the Massachusetts Collective and the Go Mass NIL Collective. We're very supportive. We worked hand in hand to make sure that we're crossing T's and dotting I's from a compliance standpoint, and also creating great opportunities for our Minutemen and Minutewomen. I urge you to go and take a look at these collectives and potentially invest and support these collectives in any way you can, because ultimately they go on and support the men and women in our program. We're very thankful for their work, very appreciative of the support that you give us here at the institution and in this NIL space, a new and emerging legislation here in the NCAA. Thank you for everything you do, and go UMass.
When you almost die and come back, you can't look at the world the same way.
A lifetime of mysterious health issues led to the discovery of a tumor in Kalia's heart.
The tumor was on my wall over here, and it was going like this over my valve. So I wasn't getting proper oxygenated blood to my body for probably my whole life.
Every beat of her heart was putting her life in danger. Watch her inspiring story at baystatehealth.org/mystory.
You live once, life is short. That's a huge eye-opener.
Bay State Health, advancing care, enhancing lives.
At Mass General Brigham Sports Medicine, you'll find sports medicine care driven by research and determination. Top specialists who understand your athletic dreams, goals, and the need to get back to them. Together, we'll write your comeback story. Start your comeback story today.
And we continue on the UMass Sports Insider on our name, image, and likeness special. We've got Chardonnay Bluford. She is an Associate AD for Governance and Compliance here at Massachusetts. Chardonnay, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Jay.
I just gave your title. What does that mean?
It means a lot of different things. I use basically 4 acronyms. We're here to educate, monitor, enforce, and protect. We're here to educate our student athletes, coaches, constituents that are involved in athletics. We're here to monitor from a NCAA rules and Atlantic 10 perspective, and then just kind of do all the things that we need to do to make sure that we stay compliant.
And things are changing rapidly with the name, image, and likeness legislation and changing rules. So have you seen an influx of UMass students taking advantage in the NIL space?
Yes, definitely. Since I've started here in December, that's been one of the hot topics and things that's kind of the top of my agenda, is basically getting a handle of name, image, and likeness with our student athletes, also known as NIL. We've definitely seen an influx. We have a variety of student athletes from different sports that are taking advantage of NIL. I think it's an awesome opportunity for our student athletes in the amateurism space for them to actually have a financial benefit and gain from using their name, image, and likeness, but also at the same time, it's up to each individual student athlete if they want to participate. We have some student athletes who, of course, are heavily involved on social media. They have a huge social media platform and following, and they've really created their brand and who they are as an individual. So a lot of them are taking advantage of the opportunities. But then we also have student athletes who don't want to take advantage of the opportunities just because it's also another time demand on the student athlete, along with everything else that they have to be involved with.
I think when you start talking about these changing norms, there's a lot to navigate through. How does UMass as an institution provide that kind of support to help the student athlete navigate to get to where they want to be if they want to operate in the NIL world?
Yeah, first, it starts with education. Having the conversation with the student athletes. What is it exactly that you're looking to do? A lot of our student athletes are involved in different things from, it's just endorsing a favorite product of theirs. If they're a coffee drinker. We have one who, is involved heavily with Dunkin' Donuts. So just kind of some of those different avenues of what it is, one, that you're looking to do. How can we help you get there to doing it within the NCAA parameters and within those guidelines, even though there aren't many guidelines and parameters and guardrails for our student athletes when it comes to name, image, and likeness, but just educating them, finding out what it is, why it is they want to do it, what's their passion for doing it, and then kind of just giving them some parameters and guardrails to be aware of.
I know we're not allowed to kind of name the specific ones on this show, but are there any creative NIL deals that you've seen come across your desk that you said, hey, that's a good idea?
There's been quite a few. It's so many, just from doing different things, from donations. They're not even accepting the money. They're basically taking the money and donating it to a nonprofit organization. So that's another way of giving back community service. They're not necessarily pocketing that money. Of course, just different things. If they have a favorite sandwich or whatever, going to the local shop and saying, hey, I'm gonna create this favorite sandwich and let's coin it and put it on the menu as, this is my favorite sandwich that people can come in and order. So just some of those different things.
I saw dog treats are out there too, so
dog
that's
treats
certainly
are out
interesting.
there.
Lastly, we just heard from Ryan Bamford, talking about collectives. I wanted to kind of get in your words, what is a collective? Because that's another term that folks are hearing out there consistently in the NIL world.
Yeah, so basically a collective is a group of individuals that come together. They pool funds, resources. They do a lot of the fundraising for the collective. The collectives are not institutional based. They're not housed in athletics. We don't have any say-so on what student athletes they choose to work with. It's basically an individual, it's usually donors, alumni, and things like that that come together and form this collective of how can we help the student athletes and give back. A lot of those who are involved in collectives have their own business as well. So of course they're looking to have some of our student athletes, endorse their products, endorse their business, whatever it may be. So just some of those different factors are what kind of entails a collective.
You're involved in it all. UMass is lucky to have you. Chardonnay, thanks so much.
Thank you.
When we come back on the UMass Sports Insider, let's find out how these things are affecting the student athletes themselves. We sit down with Sam Breen. Queen Breen is next here on Nesson.
We know you're busier than ever before, caring for your children, your parents, or a loved one. And don't forget about yourself. You deserve a health plan that guides you along the way and helps you make the decisions that matter most. Health New England has options designed to meet the needs of everyone in your life. We'll be here for you, every step of the way. Get a health plan that grows with you. Health New England, where you matter.
In 1980, when my brother bought the gas station, it was a dying business. So the lottery really helped us stay in business.
We used our commission money to put a new roof on the building, new siding, and new windows.
If not for the lottery, some of these businesses would have been closed up a long time ago.
I never conceptualized a big prize on a scratch ticket. I won $1 million that day. Thank you, Massachusetts State Lottery.
50 years of helping small businesses.
50 years of winning.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at ticketsmarter.com.
Welcome back to the UMass Sports Insider. I'm Nathan Strauss. As promised, we now sit down with UMass women's basketball captain Sam Breen. Sam, thank you so much for taking the time and joining us today.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Of course, so we're talking about NIL today. You have had now a 5-year career in women's hoops. How has the NIL space changed since your first year?
I mean, back in 2017 when I first got to college, name, image, and likeness wasn't a thing. Like, athletes really couldn't benefit off of their name, image, likeness, all that. Couldn't really have any extra benefits outside of what the school gives them. And then with the passing of the NIL a couple years ago, I think the whole realm of it has obviously shifted. Whether athletes are benefiting from it or not right now, every athlete has the opportunity to. And I know within our team and some of my friends on other teams, like, even just something as simple as like a free meal is a benefit. From posting on your story or whatever it may be. So I think a lot more people are benefiting from it than not. And obviously the higher athletes are benefiting a little bit more monetarily and all that, but I think it's been great to see the shift of it.
As you've had your playing career here at UMass and as the NIL bills have been passed, are there resources at UMass that have helped you get more exposure on that side of things?
Yeah, I think, well, we had some workshops within athletics that were optional, but obviously a good resource to have. And I know I typically attended them just to get more knowledge about it. And I think the biggest takeaway from them was it can't hurt to ask. Like, the worst thing a business or individual can say is no. So yes, it's nice to have businesses approach you and ask if you want to go in on a deal with them, but it's also like up to us as athletes to like reach out and try to get different brands and stuff like that if we're interested.
When you look at the rankings and you see nationwide, a lot of the highest paid athletes with NIL are actually in the women's sports sphere. Mm-hmm. Do you think the way NIL is structured right now is important for women's sports in particular?
Yeah, I think definitely. I know a big thing right now is being an influencer on social media, and I feel like a lot of female athletes are really taking that role pretty seriously and doing it pretty well. I just think it comes more naturally for women to be like an influencer doing the day in the life type of thing and like stuff like that. So even if it's being paid by TikTok for like the amount of views on a video, I think women athletes have really run with that and it's been super beneficial. I know they come up on my For You page all the time. I always watch them. I know Steph's gotten some videos with a lot of views on her, so just being able to benefit from little stuff like that.
You mentioned Steph Kaleja. How does the team sort of interact in this space? Because I know obviously different people are signing different deals with different priorities. What is the team mentality towards NIL and these deals?
Yeah, I think, definitely for our team, we all want to see each other succeed. So if someone gets a small deal or a big deal, I think we're going to be just as happy for them as we would be for each other. Obviously, like if we can get multiple people in within the same company, that's going to be an added benefit. But just doing our own thing, trying to navigate it ourselves and figuring out our own deals, and then once we get that, like communicating to our teammates, oh, you can reach out to them as well, see if you can get one too, just stuff like that. And we all have different interests, so kind of picking within our interests and trying to get what we can for that.
And do you enjoy being able to sort of seek out potential places that align with your goals or your values?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's been the most fun part for me. Just like getting to know more people, getting more conversations with people and learning from them, and then not only getting like maybe free food and stuff like that, but also just like building more relationships, which is what I'm super big on.
What do you think the future looks like for either you or women's hoops or just NIL as a whole for college athletes?
Yeah, being that it is my last season, I don't know how much more progress will be made within the next few months while I'm playing. I definitely anticipate some progress before, March or April. And then as years move forward and like my teammates, my underclassmen teammates now become upperclassmen, I think there will definitely be like more big strides as the NCAA and everyone else combined like goes to figure out NIL. I think there's only room to improve.
Well, Sam, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck coming up next week with that big field trip game against VCU, and we'll see you out on the court soon.
Thank you.
Back with you one final time. We hope you learned a little bit about name, image, and likeness and how Massachusetts has been on the forefront of helping student athletes develop in that space. A lot of new coming your way in 2023. Nathan, have you been able to pull up your phone and download the new app?
Yeah, check out the new UMass Athletics app on the App Store, wherever you get your apps. It's got scores, it's got highlights, it's got news. You can even check out the rosters for your favorite teams, plus links to radio and TV streams as well, and an all-new student rewards program. Exciting times. Also, the new UMass website. Check it out, umassathletics.com.
On the horizon when the spring sports start, well, it's going to be a new conference for the Garber Gorillas lacrosse, and season tickets are on sale now. First game, February 11th against Army, so make sure you dial up the ticket office and get your season tickets for Massachusetts lacrosse. It'll be here before you know it. But before that, we've got more events inside the Mullen Center. Nathan, it starts this weekend with hockey against UConn.
Yeah, UMass hosts regional rivals, the UConn Huskies, on Friday night. And then next week, a pair of midweek games, men's hoops against A10 foes Richmond on Wednesday. And on Thursday, nationally televised field trip day, women's hoops versus VCU at noon here at the Mullen Center.
We've got a lot more in store for you down the line on our future UMass Sports Insiders, including the next time you see us, it'll be football signing day. So the Minutemen on the gridiron will ramp up the roster and try to reform what they've got heading into 2023. And we'll also have the full schedule for the football program as well. We leave anything out?
No, I think that's pretty much it, Jay. Exciting times here at UMass, as always. The clock never stops ticking.
Good to see you this new year, my friend. Hope you all enjoyed this show. We leave you with this. Frozen Fenway. How about playing hockey at Fenway Park? Massachusetts did so against Boston College, and we send it out to the Fens for what that game looked like for the Minutemen. For Nathan Strauss, until next time, my name's Jay Burnham saying so long, everybody, from the Mullen Center.
I've always been a big fan, Bruins, Patriots, Celtics, Red Sox. Always tried to go to games when I could, especially for me it was mostly Bruins and Red Sox games. Never thought I'd be able to get outside and play a hockey game at Fenway, so it was a really unique experience. Got to be able to get that practice in the day before too and get some pictures, and it was really neat.
We walked out of the Red Sox dugout before the game, and you're going out for warm-ups, you see all the UMass fans supporting us in big numbers, obviously, and you're going up against a rivaled opponent like Boston College on that venue. It was unbelievable. You just kind of take a look back and enjoy the moment, obviously, and yeah, just an overall great experience.
Yeah, you're just kind of looking around, taking it all in. We were walking out that first day for practice, brought me back some memories when I was at games in the summer, and watched the Winter Classic too, when the Bruins played in 2010, and also this year. So I thought of some cool moments like that. I was actually at the game in 2010. We had this game circled on the calendar for a while, and when you first step out on the ice for warm-ups, you kind of got those jitters going through you a little bit. But once the game settled in, you kind of got to your game and you started playing hockey. But I think sometimes you have to look around and take it in for a little bit. And again, just being from that Boston area and growing up, going to so many games at Fenway, I never thought I'd be playing a hockey game there. So to be able to do that is something I'll remember forever.